Hi friend, welcome back. Today we're going to do a flip through of the end result of the paper bag junk journal that I made in a recently uploaded video. You're probably going to hear my kid playing in the background. It is what it is. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description box, but assuming that you have seen the video, then let's just get started. This is the prototype for what I now believe will be how I make my junk journals going forward, as one does when we make prototypes. I realized that there were certain things that I liked and that I did not particularly like. The first thing that I did not like was the wrinkled paper. I prefer for my cover to be as neat looking as possible. Another thing that I would prefer to not do is to have the handles be the actual length that they are when they're being used as a paper bag. I do prefer them to be shorter. It just looks like too much. And the other part of it is that the longer it is, the less sturdy it feels to me. And as I catalog them, as I use them, I don't want them to just be crumpled up, bits that are on the side. I also added some of my painted packing papers onto the cover and to some of the pages that are inside because it matches so well with the grocery bag. It just looks like it's either part of the page or like it's coming through the page somehow. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But so this little book plate, like faux book plate thing that I did here, it's really just a piece of some of the paper that I doodled on. And then I just added a smaller piece of scrap paper bag on top of that, just so that I can write whatever, if I want to write the start and end date, or if I want to name this journal, what have you. These were not my favorite flowers of all of the ones that I created, so I figured these would be the best flowers to fussy cut, as this is a prototype. And I just love it so much. So let's go inside. Oh, and I did sew the edges just because I like that. It's definitely not necessary. You can create this same journal by just using glue. I also did sew using my sewing machine to create the binding. You can absolutely do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, or however many holes of a pamphlet stitch you want to do. You could staple it if that's your preference. There are many ways to bind your own journal, so you be the judge of that. So on the first page already, you can see that I added one of those images that I was talking about, which are one of the doodles that I made with that packing paper. And I don't know, is it me or does it look like she's just like coming out of the bag? I'm not even sure why I did it. Like maybe it was something like this that I was trying to strengthen it, because this is where I think I peeled too much of the paper off, so it's a little bit weaker here. And that's one thing that's so forgiving about using grocery bags is you're never gonna feel too precious about it. Using this recyclable material that otherwise you likely wouldn't keep in your house, it gives you the freedom to just do whatever you want and play. And it is also really forgiving in that you can essentially band-aid any and all of the pages any way that you see fit. You can do it in similar paper, or you can do it in contrasting paper, and it just becomes part of the interest and the story. This page is actually a piece of the paper bag as well. So what happens is that when I trim down the paper to the size that I want, or whatever parts of the paper bag are left, I either use those to create pages for that very journal, or if the pages are smaller, I also might decide to do a tip-in instead and then just add like that extra page here. This is some of that packing paper, and this is a version of some of the pages that I create using whatever's left over from the bag once I've cut it down to the size that I need for the journal. So as an example, so you've got this paper bag, so imagine it's that. So usually when I cut the bag, these sides tend to be put to the side, and it's those my guy's out there playing. And it's those sides, I don't know what you would call them, but you can tell here's that triangle from where it folds. And so I just sort of patchwork them together and lengthwise or what have you, and then create pages that way. Here's another one just peeking out. Love her. Here's another page using that packing paper. And then I took a piece of the grocery bag scraps and created a tab with that. Really just trying not to let any piece of the grocery bag go to waste. I wish that I had included in that previous video, I'm laughing because my son is so ridiculous when he plays this game. I wish I had filmed what was left over, but the scraps that end up going into the recycling are so minimal that it's really satisfying to feel like you made use of every possible piece that you could have. And if I wanted to be ridiculous, I probably could have even used that and made paper beads, but like at some point I've got to stop because a girl gets tired. It might be hard to see, but this pocket was made by a scrap that starts here and goes down. So I created a pocket with that, and then with more of those scraps, I created a journaling card. I absolutely love this, and I love how wonky it looks. It's not straight by any means, and it is very much patched together in the areas that needed these patches by other pieces of packing paper or paper bags. And because of that, it gives it a bit more of a sturdy feel to it. Although I also think that if it's not sturdy, there's something really charming about journaling on something that feels delicate, especially if it's something that is used like in such a utilitarian way. So I absolutely love how this journaling card turned out, and I especially love that it really gives a lot of purpose to all of those doodles that I've created. Let me go talk to that guy. So, just by coincidence, it happened to fit perfectly in this pocket to where we can see the girl peeking out, and I absolutely love it. Next page is blank, and so we have paper bag on this side and packing filler paper, whatever we're gonna call it, on that side. Here we have more of this patchwork paper that I've put together, and you can really see like the difference in the colors, the difference in the textures. So I think this was like a mailing envelope that I cut apart to create a page with. You can see part of the label from the mailing envelope. This is that packing paper doodle that I only partially fussy cut and left the rest of it to be straight lines. And then this is a piece of paper bag, but all of it just makes sense and it works. And apparently here I decided to put a paper clip. Oh, I know what belongs there is this, friend. Guys, is it me or is this genius slash adorable slash hurry up and make some? I really am interested in doing the absolute most with these paper bags. That is like whatever you would do with any other pretty paper, do it with the paper bag anyway, right? And there's this channel that I absolutely adore, and she's super talented, and she does these adorable little houses, or she calls them her casitas. And shout out to Lillian. I don't think that I don't think that she knows that my channel exists, but I'm going to add her channel to my description box as well. She's just such a beautiful crafter, and she has the loveliest energy. And if you just want to feel good and get cheered up and also learn how to do some beautiful paper crafts, then you just have to go over there. Tell her I said hi, tell her I sent you. But anyway, she makes her casitas using junk mail. This is sort of like a spin-off of that maybe. And so I used the scraps that I had to create this little house, but this house, it's like it almost has like a hidden pocket, and I'm obsessed. So it's in there. So you can put like a journaling card in there, and then I don't think I'm done with this. And by the way, I don't think I'm done with any of this clearly. And I'm going to continue to work and add into it. So I'll come back with a final flip through when this journal is full. I can't wait to do that because quite honestly, I can't wait to see what the hell happens because I have no idea where I'm going with this. I just used one of those like clear stickers of like florals, so kind of looks like a little garden, and then I put a little door here, and inside I just wrote, kind people welcome, duh, meanies don't even knock on my door. I'm still trying to figure out if I wanted to put a closure, like maybe a little Velcro here just to keep it closed, and then of course add something that creates a doorknob. I don't know, maybe a little sign that says something snarky. I don't know, I'm still working on it, but I just love that it has the little door, and I even put a latch on the window just because I guess that day I was feeling ridiculous, and there are 3 cats inside the window. Stop it right meow. So it's a little fussy to like, you know, mess with it, but I think it's adorable and I love it. So I sort of made it to where, actually, I don't know. I thought I was gonna create like a hidden paper clip with this. In fact, I think that would be brilliant. Can I do it? Yes, I can. So, and then you can just plop this anywhere that you want. So essentially, I don't know if you can see that even here I had to patch this together because I was just working with whatever scraps was left over, and then I took some scraps and just folded it into like whatever size rectangle I needed to create that chimney. And then I kept the string because the string is kind of like the chimney smoke, maybe. I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I absolutely love it. Lillian calls hers casitas, so I don't know what I'm going to call mine. Granny's house, Shay's house, I don't know. All right, so here is another of those patchwork papers, and this is truly patchwork. I even actually forgot to trim this one. Over here, I think my intention was to have this patching up a weak spot, but it's also adding more journaling space, and it does also function as a pocket. So all of these things that you can think of while you're putting your journal together. Some more of that packing paper. Here's another feature here where I just did a belly band with a piece of scrap. Here on this other patchwork page, I used some of my doodle papers to create those patches. Here I created a simpler journaling card, and this one is even more delicate than the other one because right here it's just that packing paper, whereas over here it's grocery bag. I created a tab, left the loose threads. I like to leave loose threads every once in a while because I feel like that's like part of the handmade story. It leans to the acceptance of imperfection and like the embrace of that, right? Then this one is, as you can see, the same piece of paper, and I just folded it in half to create an very simple altered paper clip. And that is what I was using to keep that journaling card there. You can move it wherever you want. Here is another one of my secret ladies on another patchwork page. Here is more of a narrow page tab. You can see all the nice patchwork on this side. You can see the imperfections. I think these imperfections are from the areas where I pulled off the handles, and that's bound to happen. And sometimes I patch them up as soon as I create the journal, and sometimes I just leave them like that, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Some packing paper, some more sort of damaged paper, and I created a pocket here. So you can see I created my pockets after the fact. That's why there is no visible sewing on the pocket. If you wanted to, and if I had remembered, I probably would have done the pockets before the sewing, because I do like for the sewing to go all the way around, but it is a junk journal, guys, so we don't need to be that crazy about it, especially when it's a prototype. The prototype will tell you all the things that you love and that you want to do for the next one. So now that I've shown you the prototype, I went ahead and made 6 more. Here are 5 that are yet to be used, and I'm thinking of selling these at this year's Makers Market at my kids' school. These are the ones that I made using a similar method, but using the shipping mailers that you will get depending on where you order your stuff from. You can see like my thread doesn't even match. And inside the paper bags are from different grocery stores. We've got Whole Foods, we've got packing paper, we've got pieces of Christmas bags. This was a photocopy of a shipping box that I had gotten from Amazon that on the outside said, "Without you, I'm empty inside." And I just thought that that was A, really funny, and B, it really makes sense for journaling, right? Like without us putting the contents into the journal would be empty inside. So again, I sewed it with my sewing machine. I added like a little pocket here, and that's shipping paper. This is patchwork paper. And it's pretty much, you know, the same thing for all of them. And I just use whatever handles I have, just because I like the handle, but you can absolutely make these journals without the handles, and I think they would look great. This was sort of like a patchwork situation where the shipping envelope was pretty tattered, so I used some of this craft tape that I have. So it works really well to repair some weak spots as well. And if I'm getting rid of a bag where it's too damaged to use, I will take off the handles and keep the handles so that I can pair them with a different bag. So that's what happened here. I have no idea what bag these handles came from, but they work really well for here. This one I think is mostly shipping paper. Oh, and it looks like I started sort of swatching some paint markers there. Here's another one, and it's got a mix of grocery bags, Trader Joe's, Mariano's, got a pocket, got some weak spots that need to be mended there. And here I did the bigger "Without You, I'm empty inside," which I think is really nice for like that middle spread. And again, I don't go too crazy about matching my thread. I feel like that's part of the junky charm. So I just use whatever thread is in the machine at the time that I'm gonna sew. And I feel like in general, that's pretty much how I go about it. So, oh, and look, this one, it looks like I made a pocket, but then also like a flip out. So that's interesting. I think this is a Chipotle. Yeah, it's a Chipotle bag. Again, that middle, I did this one in black and white, and yeah, so that's pretty much, they're all pretty much the same. You're not seeing anything unique or special. I think it makes it easier to mass produce things if you essentially just keep the same idea and just do it over and over again. But I didn't want to leave you without showing you what it looks like to actually use one of these. If you're me, at least, because obviously if you're going to use one of them, you're going to do whatever you want. I had a pair of old jeans that tore in a ridiculous place. So there was really no repairing them without it being obvious. And also they didn't really fit me. And also they were kind of crappy jeans, whatever. But I've always loved jean pockets. And I don't know if you remember, I don't know, maybe months or even years ago, I shared a video sharing with you all the different things that pen pals have sent me over the years. And one of my favorite things that were sent to me was a pocket like this, a denim pocket that my pen pal had embroidered onto. And I just thought it was such a unique and beautiful idea of repurposing something that I would never think to repurpose it as a way to create pen pal mail. Finally, this month, as a way to relax and, you know, do some self-care, I just decided to try my hand at some embroidery, and I created this. Anyway, I wanted to put things in the pocket, so I put 2 of my journaling cards that I made using images from my magazine harvests, as well as my captions that I like to make. And so I just stuck these in the pocket. I didn't write anything in them yet. There's always a warm-up period for me. The first 1 to 2 pages are always really awkward feeling to me. So do I think this is my favorite spread? Well, no, it is not. But there are a lot of my favorite things here. And so therefore we move on. Starting with this little card, on November 2023, my son and I got COVID right before Thanksgiving. And so our Thanksgiving plans had to change to the point that we had to order Thanksgiving dinner from Boston Market, which I don't even know if they exist anymore, but by the way, it was delicious. But one of my good friends in the neighborhood also brought over some of her famous family stuffing because she knew that we were not feeling well. It's the sweetest thing. So I wanted to keep that. And I guess this is one of like my Noel-isms, which is what I call it. And it's just, my guy is like a jokester and he's always got something funny to say. So this was just a joke. Then I've got a picture of me sitting at a bench outside of the Nature Museum. They should really know us by name by now. And then I added these cute little flowers that are doodles from Anna. And I believe that she has them available on her website. Either way, you can always find Anna linked in my information because she's the bestie. And if you ever need to find her, you can just go to my description and you will find her listed there. But all of these flowers are hers. These fish, which I thought was kind of like a funny thing to do, to have the fish be in the sky. And the snake, these are all her drawings. This is a piece of ephemera that I made a long time ago. Oh, maybe that's why this is here, because we went to this antiques and oddities store that is near us in our neighborhood. After we took our walk, we went and got pizza at Jet's. I love going there because not very many places in Chicago sell pizza by the slice, but Jet's does. It's one of the two that I know of, and Jet's is really good. In this spread, I sort of did this as like a dedication spread to my little sweetie Nia. This is her when she was about 4 years old, maybe even 3. She's now 13. And I just wanted to have something here to create this collage of all things that either remind me of her. So these are some things about her. This is a keroppi that she drew for me because I told her that I used to love keroppi so much when I was in high school. This pink star paper is actually scraps from the Christmas paper that I used for her gifts last year. We are always walking around collecting dandelions, and every year now, this would be our 3rd year this spring, where we have this competition of like the first one of us to spot the first dandelion wins what, I don't know, but it's a fun way to cheer ourselves up every morning in the tail end of winter, as we are hopeful to be the one that finds the first dandelion. Try it, it gets you through. This is some stamping that I did on some repurposed book paper. I don't really love stamping and I don't really love coloring, but on this day I did it, and I'm kind of grateful that I did it because it allowed me to have this really interesting tip in or flip up, and in front of it, I just wrote a couple of the lyrics from a little lullaby that I used to sing to both of my kids when they were babies. But this lullaby really started with Nia, so I thought that was special there. This is just a colorful image that I cut out of a magazine. I used some of my jelly roll pens to create this swirly pattern that was actually inspired by Nia, who loves to write on her skin. We tell her all the time not to do it, but she does occasionally do it. And one day she showed up with a swirly pattern like this that I thought was beautiful, and I tried to recreate it. Bubblegum, because we both love it. This is from the packaging of my Artix markers. This is a drawing that my daughter did. So she often will draw, and she's a great artist, although she doesn't believe me. And often she just wants to get rid of them after she's done, and I smuggle them and stick them anywhere I can. In this one, this spread is sort of inspired or maybe even an ode to friendship. And so a lot of the components of this spread are from things that have been given to me. So back here, I have 2 zines. One of them was given to me so many years ago, I don't even really remember. It's from Pink Paper Daisy. Then this is a zine that Anna sent to me when she did her cute little Galentine's themed mail for her patrons, I believe. And this was from 2022. I absolutely love vellum. And I love that she made this zine with plenty of blank space to where if you wanted to add to it, you could, or you could just enjoy the piece that only blank space can give. I also have this little bookmark that I created using a picture that my friend Lindsay sent me in the mail. I believe that her sweet little chinchilla has since passed away. Here, what's serving as a pocket for that ephemera is a picture of me having breakfast with 2 of my Chicago besties. That's us just chatting away. This card was given, well, actually, I think it was made by my friend's husband, and then she gave it to me. Over the course of COVID and then the elections and all that stuff, something that we kept repeating to ourselves was, what a mess. And it was just kind of like the dumpster catch-all of everything that was going on, because what else could you say but what a mess? And so I love this, and I love that over COVID, I really had such a special connection and friendship with her, and I'll never forget that. So I've got this in here. And then this is a card that was sent to me by a pen pal in the mail. And I love when people send me cards from places they've been or from where they live. So hi, friend, if you want to send me a postcard from wherever you live, I would love to have it. This is a postcard that another pen pal sent to me, and she did this beautiful illustration herself, and I just love it so much. So it lives here. Then I just used some of my ephemera that I made years and years ago, and this is a doodle that I made, I think, for a different challenge years ago. It's not my favorite, but you know, she's fine there. And this is a Daruma doll, and this was given to me at, I think, my 2nd annual holiday makers market at the kids' school where I sell to, as I mentioned earlier. And she was selling these handmade screen print cards, I think this is, of Daruma dolls. And if you pause the video, you can read this, and it'll give you a full description of what the purpose of a Daruma doll is. But it's really cool and really interesting, and I actually sent a couple of little Daruma dolls to my members last month. Here is a postcard of Chicago. Yes, you might be thinking, Shanice, you live in Chicago, what are you doing? Well, this was given to me by Anna when she came to the Chicago Planner Conference. I feel like it was right before COVID began. In that postcard that was sent to me, this one, my friend also added this card. Like, how cute is this bunny? And I just hand lettered around it, kindness is king. I believe it. Here's an image that I cut out from a repurposed book. This is some ephemera that was sent to me by Leanne. Leanne and I swap zines every season, and this was some ephemera that she drew and sent to me. And this is a sticker that Anna made of us years ago when we used to do coffee time on Instagram. I think we used to do it Thursdays at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is an incomplete work in progress that I completely forgot about. But again, this is more of my daughter's drawings. These are from like maybe 3 years ago. We were at a diner, and you know, they give you paper and crayons and stuff. So this is supposed to be my husband, myself, my son, and her uncle. And if you know us, then you would agree that she really got our personalities in these drawings. And she also got my hat. I'm very often wearing a hat. This is a watercolor, like journaling card that I made for myself a long time ago, and I just added one of my captions. I need to hand letter something here. What had happened is that I did hand letter something here and it was hideous, and so I covered it. Ephemera piece of Frida. This came in some junk mail and I didn't want to throw it away. There's room for journaling if I want to. Vinny, that's my guy. My favorite painter is Vincent van Gogh. And I kind of like that what I did here, I just kind of went in with some red paint markers and then went back in and added some contrasting turquoise watercolor that Nia did on a day where she was resisting the watercolor activity. And so that's what she did. And I thought it was funny, so I'll keep it. And this is more paint marker, and then I just did the swirls. And this is jelly roll pens, just messing around. In this spread, there is a lot of zine pal stuff. This background paper is from my magazine Harvests, but this came from Leanne's mail. This came from Leanne's mail. Some oracle cards or cool cards like these that are just beautiful and artistic. And also somehow when I received the mail, the card that was sent was exactly the card that I either needed at the time or that absolutely resonates with me at the time. Mail has a way of arriving exactly when you need it. So I think that is absolutely true for the cards that Leanne sends as well. This was also part of her mail. This is a sticker of this really nice structure that is at the Lincoln Park Zoo, which, as I mentioned before, I go to the zoo a lot with my son. This is a sticker that came in that mail from Leanne. And this background is just images from my magazine Harvest. And this is a card that Anna sent me some time ago. I used one of those Target clear pockets that I think are meant for teachers, but I don't care. And that allowed me to create some hidden journaling, because if you look at it, you can't really tell that there's something behind it or that it's even a pocket if you're flipping quickly. But then I'm able to add some hidden journaling there. And I just did like a currently list, some things that I'm currently enjoying. So those pockets are a really fun way to add some hidden journaling. Here we have a spread where you can see me using the "Without You, I'm Empty" inside. And then I'm also using another one of those clear pockets from Target. And this one allows me to just create this tuck spot here that could also be hiding some hidden journaling, but instead it's just got some real journaling about my family visiting. And that's really what I focused this spread on, was just my family visiting for the summer, a really special gala that I went to with my husband because he received an award. And then I just added some random markings and some captions here and there. I also added this Greek yogurt label from the Trader Joe's honey flavored Greek yogurt, which I think is delicious. I don't remember where I got this sticker from, but I'm pretty sure I sent some to my zine pals. And then I put this peaches labels because, oh no, these are nectarines. My mom, every time she comes to visit during the summer, she loves to have some of the nectarines. This spread is the one that you saw me create, but in essence, it's just a love fest for my family. And I just put some of my favorite pictures here. This is hands down my favorite picture of me, my mom, and my daughter. Hands down my favorite picture of me and the kids. This is a picture of myself, my sister-in-law, my brother, my nephew when he was a little boy, and my mom. And this was at my rehearsal dinner the night before I got married. This is my nephew. This is closer to his age now. He's 27. Went on a hike at the Forest Preserve. That's his second winter living in Chicago, and those are his parents visiting, my brother and my sister-in-law. This is one of my favorite pictures of my daughter that I put through some sort of filter in a photo app or whatnot. One of my favorite pictures of my son Noel wearing one of my hats. And a very amazing picture of my son Noel wearing a Baba hat, which if you know, you know. And this is an old picture of my daughter and I when we went and got mani-pedis together. I love any and all pictures of them laughing together. And I love when Nia is silly for photos. My kids are really funny. In this little plastic pocket tip-in, I stuck this cute little message that my son wrote to me. I'm not sure how long ago, but it was a while ago because his handwriting is different now. And then I added some gratitude journaling that I had typed up. And this is a card that I made using like, I don't know, Jane Davenport or something like that type of paper. I believe there's a video for this, and if there is, I will link it in the description box, but I just used a few of my handmade ephemera, and there is a video showing how I made these. Gosh, I feel like I'm going to be attaching a bunch of videos, but I will do that for you, friend, to make it easy if you would like to know how to draw some of these flowers. Definitely this one, and some of these leaves. These leaves, I show how. And this is the part of a Mother's Day card that my husband wrote for me. And so I just cut out the part where his writing was there. And this part, the lady and the child, was the cover of the postcard. I just wanted to like use it in a more creative way versus just tucking the postcard in here. I'm happy with this. The only thing that I wish that I had done was maybe paint the background so that there's a little bit more pop in the background, but it's fine. I should probably sign this because it is my own words and my own quote, if you will. I've always said that there's never been a day where I didn't love you, and there never will be. And I just love that. And here's some journaling about how fast children grow. And these little butterflies are so adorable. I think they're like Pipsticks butterflies or whatever, which I never buy them because they're too expensive. But I went to a junk journaling activity, and these are some of the stickers that they allowed us to take home. On this spread, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of things. Here is part of the packaging of some potato chips that we got at this cute little store called Miniso, and they have a lot of amazing things in there. I think they have like Korean beauty products and delicious candies and chips and things like that to try, and these chips were delicious. This is a tag that came in some mail. I'm not even sure from who, but I've had it for years, and I finally decided to give it a home. This is another one of Nia's drawings that she would rather throw away. This is one of the stickers that I purchased at Miniso. This was part of the packaging for the stickers, but here's some of the packaging of some of the snacks that we also got, like ribbon biscuit. I don't remember what that was about. Some sort of marshmallow, just delicious, yummy things. And here's some journaling. So I took some of that scrap paper and then just put it here so that I can have some journaling. And I guess she got this and other Roblox cards as a birthday gift. And I put a Hello Kitty sticker here just so that it functioned as a tab. Stuck in this Karopi thing. This Beguile brewing thing has nothing to do with this. I just attached it there. I don't really think that your junk journal needs to make full sense. That's my opinion. You can fight me on that. I went to a meetup, and it was supposed to be a writing workshop. And it's a long story. I did get some writing done. It just wasn't the workshop that I thought it was gonna be. It was fun, I would go back, but now I know what I'm signing up for. As I mentioned before, we do love a Jet's pizza, and I cut this out of the little pizza box that we carried our 2 slices in, and then I just used my jelly rolls to add some color and just to kind of make it funny and fun. It's kind of funny how his mustache looks like a crown. Wanted to add something, and then just journaled on the back of it and tipped it in with some really sturdy packing tape. This spread was a struggle for me because I knew that I wanted to use these pieces, but I didn't know how to make them make sense together. But yet again, I don't fully think that junk journaling needs to make sense, so we just rolled with it anyway. I added these stickers which came on a shipping envelope, so for no other reason than to add a pop of yellow. And then this watermelon label I added because this was the first time that my son wanted to pick the watermelon for us, because he had watched a video of how to pick a good watermelon. And wouldn't you believe that the watermelon was perfect? It was delicious. So I wanted to keep that. This mindful baking sticker came from placing an order for the first time ever, actually, for a birthday cake for my son. My son has various food allergies, so purchasing anything from the outside world can be really stressful and complicated. So we've always chosen other options for his birthday cake. But this year I decided to reach out to a local bakery and see if they could accommodate us. And not only did they accommodate us, but they did it within 24-hour notice. And it was a really good cake. So if you're in Chicago and you want to support a really kind and generous small business, check out Mindful Baking in Ravenswood. I also added, I don't know if you can really tell, I photocopied another pizza box, which is called Zaza's, and they are in Lakeview. And they are the second pizza shop that I know of in Chicago that sells pizza by the slice. Highly recommend, delicious. They also have this thing called the Fat Ass Cookie, and it is essentially like a fat chocolate chip cookie, and it's insane. So I photocopied that, I cut it out, and then I just stuck it here, and it just wasn't enough. Like, it seemed really boring. So I just went in with my jelly rolls again. We already know that I love a neon pop. And I don't know what I did here. Is this coral? Is this like some sort of virus? I don't know what it is, but I'm into it. So I just did that just to add some interest here, and it's kind of bleeding into this other side. And maybe this guy's a little bit suspicious of whatever else is going on over here. I have no reason to have him here other than I like this pose and I just wanted him to be there. And then this is just some hand lettering that I put that says, eat pizzas and hang with the family. What could be better? Oh, and the paper in the background, I don't know if you can tell, it says Hazel. It's a tissue paper from one of my favorite local shops that I go to often. Everyone that, the owners and everyone that works there is really nice. Okay, we finally made it to the end, friend. And this, not intentionally, turned out to be a tribute to Puerto Rico via two different things. On the one hand, we have some of the pieces of ephemera that came in some pen pal mail from my friend Yarisi, and she has an Etsy shop called Yarisi & Co. Definitely go check her out, especially if you're someone who is wanting to dabble or like dip their toe into the pen pal or paper crafting world. Her shop is all things pen pal and paper crafting. So she sells kits for junk journaling and for mail and for paper crafting, you know, as a whole. Super talented, and she has a really beautiful style of creating. So she sent me this postcard, which you'll see once I take this out. I made this envelope using a page protector years ago. I use a page protector and then I just sewed it so that I can make a little pocket. But you can see now the cover of her postcard, which is a collage that she created. And then this was this part, and this part were all part of a postcard that she sent as sort of like an add-on, like one of the goodies that she sent me to have. And I just wanted to use the stuff because otherwise I'll put it away and then it gets hidden and I never use it. So instead, I just decided that I was gonna cut up that card and use the pieces to help create this spread. So the back of the card, where it has her logo and her business name, I cut that out so that I can create the tab. This was on the front of the card on top of this cute little beach icon or illustration. And so I love how that turned out. And it really worked out really well for me that I could put this on the front of this pocket, because she sent me this picture that she took of the last time that she went to Puerto Rico. And this is a beach that she mentioned was one of her favorite beaches. So she sent me some journaling or writing about that beach specifically in the back. And I just cherish this. I feel like it's so special that not only do I get to have an actual picture, I love when people share pictures with me in the mail, but also that she's sharing a story about a place that's so special to her. Now, I'm from Puerto Rico as well, so this goes straight to the bottom of my heart. I love that we can see the flag and the surfboards and just the quietness of the picture, but it also says a lot. And so I thought this was perfect that I can put that right in front of it that says, all you need is some beach therapy. In order to use her little illustration part of the card, I decided to make a hidden paper clip with it. So that gives it a function. And that is holding this journaling card that she made for me, which I absolutely used to do some journaling. And so these two together make a really great pair, and I love it. And this is one of the most recent, and by recent, I mean 2 or so months ago, doodle drawings that I did on that packing paper. And I love this one because if you look at it this way, it essentially is an illustration that's supposed to depict a likeness of a jibara. And I may have mentioned what a jibaro means to us in Puerto Rico. In essence, it means farmer. But when I was growing up, a jibaro or a jibara was a word that people used as an insult toward each other. And it was meant to say that you were ignorant, that you were not as informed, or that you maybe weren't as worldly. And I fully believe now that that sort of definition that was applied to the word at that time was really something ugly that came from colonization. I don't think that that is something that our ancestors would consider to be an adequate representation of what a jibaro is. And as I've gotten older and as I've learned more about my culture and appreciated more about my ancestry, I've valued more the symbol of what a jibaro and jibara is. And it truly is a symbol of the mothers and fathers of our culture, of our island, of its beauty, and of everything that makes it a destination that people want to visit. So this is meant to demand respect for that, to demand respect for what it means to be a jibaro or jibara, and to demand respect for how we speak to ourselves and each other. What I love about this is that when you open it and you go into the inside, you get a little bit more of the story of a jibara. And here it's showing the machete, which the machete is not a symbol of war or violence or any kind of harm. It is a symbol of persistence and resistance, and resisting the theft of our culture, essentially resisting letting go of what our ancestors have passed down to us, our language, our dances, our music, our art. So the machete is a symbol of strength. So I wanted for this to depict our ancestors passing that down to us, passing down in the form of a machete, but the love of our island, the love of our culture, the love of our people, the love of ourselves, the love of our traditions. Yeah, so I think I would like to maybe recreate something like this bigger, maybe even on canvas. I don't have any of my art on my walls, but if I did, I think I would want to start here. Anyway, friend, that's it. Oh, just kidding. At the back, I apparently hand lettered. At the end of each journal, I try to give thanks to those pages. And so this is sort of working as that in a small, simple way. So that's it for real now, friend. I will leave you there. This was, I think, a longish video. I thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Meanies, don't even knock on my door. Noelle? Noelle, I love you, but you're being too loud. Sorry.